Doodle Clubbers and Chroma Clubbers. Today we're going to talk about some cool things around Doodle Club and Chroma Club, as well as do a little Ask DCH. So, first I wanted to point out some cool projects that I saw today. Let's see, Yandir Taki-chan of the First Order mentioned some marker ideas that could be added to Doodle Club and Chroma Club. So, check them out. And also, if you have suggestions for other unique types of markers, let me know. Um, it would be nice to have a list of interesting markers that we could add in because, as you saw with the virtual world, it would be nice where you go on certain quests and you win certain markers. Okay, so another cool thing that I saw today as one of the projects was this cute unicorn. I just wanted to point it out. Here it is. I feel like this person should make a cool story or OC around this unicorn. I don't know why, I just really like the style. So if you see it, check it out. Hang on a second. That's by Marina. So that was another cool project that I saw. Um, Now let me see. I just saw this right now. Let's just see what this is about. Okay, so this is a flip book on honey. I feel like it should be a little faster, but uh, it seems like it's one frame. That's another thing. When you're doing flip books, don't forget that when you set the time interval, try not to go above the number two. Because, like, I think this person put in 10 or 20 or something else. It's still on the first frame. And nothing's really changed. So we're going to skip this for now, but that's just a tip that you can use when you're doing your projects. Um, okay, now let's go to Ask DCH. Let's go to Doodles. Oh, whoops, Jobs. Okay, give me a question for the next Ask DCH. So here we go. Okay, Aidenator asks, why did you create Doodle Club? I will create a Doodle Club because I wanted to work on something that I enjoy, just helping people do projects. And that's really the goal of Doodle Club and Chroma Club. I feel like um, some things need to be tightened up so that people are encouraged to do projects because I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily do projects. I mean, we there were a lot of projects today, which is kind of interesting, but in general, people may not be doing as many projects as they used to. And so if you have any suggestions or have a good reason as to why you think that is, let me know in the comments below. Sarah the Satanist asks, how do you find glitches? I find glitches when people post on my wall and they say, hey, this happened or that happened or blah blah blah. And so let me see if I can even find. So for example, how do you delete a club on iPhone? That's by Z-Man the Wizard. That's on my wall. And what happens is that I think on certain iPhones you can't even see some of the tabs of the clubs at the bottom. And so I found that glitch by people posting those issues on my wall. So that's really how I find glitches. Also, I find glitches when I play the game. Um, and try to catch a lot of these issues. I play the game, but I don't necessarily play it on all the different devices. And but still, I notice issues like I feel like as I've seen with Doodle Club and Chroma Club, I feel like it needs to almost be like YouTube in a sense that you've got suggested projects that you can check out or read and all these other things or whatever else. And we need to be more aggressive in that and also just have a better list of projects created by your followers. So I'm going to look into that more. I'll see how to create a better interface for that. But that's really how I find glitches is by playing it myself and also anyone else giving me feedback. Shiny Sparks, the person of something, asks, how much does it cost to run DC? Also, another question, when you said you will remove filters, they were expensive. Will people get their coins back? Or, look, it costs a lot of money to run Doodle Club. Okay, because first of all, even look, the skills needed to program something like Doodle Club and Chroma Club are very valuable nowadays in the economy. So just the opportunity cost of working on something like Doodle Club and Chroma Club is a lot. Okay, so that's one thing. Then secondly, there's the server fees and all this other stuff, like just running the whole the thing. Like every month, it's a lot of money, and so that's why I feel like we need to change things so that it's actually making enough money to cover all these costs. Because then you won't hear excuses from me or anyone else like, hey, we're gonna do this and it gets delayed or this or that or whatever. So we really need to focus on ideas and ways to turn this into a business. Now, I know some people say, oh, well, I don't want to pay in-app. Okay, I understand. And then maybe you won't do in-app purchases, but some people will. And hopefully that'll be enough to cover it. It'll help build this into a constructive environment, just like some of these other big apps that you see that are very successful that are even worse games sometimes than Doodle Club and Chroma Club. It's just that they found a way to monetize it and just keep on improving it. So that's the answer for that. Okay, Sketch asks, if you could change one major thing on Doodle Club without paying anything or doing the work, what would it be? That's an interesting and good question. I think you have a really good sense of the fact that sometimes changes don't happen because they're just so difficult to do. But the one change that I would really love to do, if I didn't have to pay anything or do any of the work and it could just happen right now, is just a conversion to the beautiful virtual world that I kind of showed you. Except it would be more perfected. There would be awesome mini games or quests that you would go on to earn the different colors that you wanted. And it would have some other interesting projects that I've mentioned to some other players in Doodle Club and Chroma Club. So that's really the one awesome change that I wish that if I could snap a finger and it could happen today, I would love. So that's it. Okay, so the next person is Random Doodler that said nothing. I think what I'm going to do is, here's a mini tutorial on how to ask for a refund. And what you do is you say request refund. And you say because did not answer, okay? And you flag the submission. And that way you get your coins back if you don't get the proper stuff. Okay, so I asked for a refund, but now let's go on to the next question, which is by Shy Girl. A year or two ago, you spoke of how you wanted DC to be famous, like games like Minecraft. You also wanted to simplify DC. How are you going to have a simple, popular game? How will it work? Flappy Bird got someone killed. Simple is not necessarily the best idea. How will you approach the issue if you don't ignore it? You cannot do both and succeed. Well, when I say succeed, when I say something as famous as Minecraft, now I'm beginning to realize what that would take. If you notice on Doodle Club, the general idea is good. It's solid. The thing is, though, all those little details, like, hey, the follower page and the gallery and all these things working properly and smoothly and loading faster, those little things are really what matter. And so that's one way I'm going to focus on, say, making it famous, is you have to make it unique too. Doodle Club is unique, but now you look at some of these other games and they're coming up there. You can create content there too. And so I got some other ideas and we'll see how it goes. But ultimately, not only does it have to be a unique game, it has to work properly. I mean, a lot of people have mentioned glitches before. It's a lot better now, in my opinion. But there were glitches and this and that and whatever. So yeah, that's how I'm going to make it, I feel, potentially better, is by polishing up the details. And I can do that by playing the game. If I play the game for 4 or 5 hours a day and make notes of all the different things that need to get tweaked and changed, I think that'll be a huge thing. And in fact, that's what I need to do. I don't play it 4 or 5 hours a day, but you know what, just saying it right now, I just realized I need to do that. So I'm going to play it, but then also simplify DC. Look, what I mean is, like, just not making it like Flappy Birds, but just making the interface so smooth. Look at this. If some new player comes onto this and they see all these different buttons of doodles, gifts, daily news, main store, find friends, blah, 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 they're not going to even know what to do. Some people even ask me how they even do projects. I mean, that's how complicated it is. Even though, by the way, for those listening, to do projects, you tap on the projects tab and you go to buy projects. But people don't know that. So when I say simplify, I want to make it so that it's super simple, so that it's quick. It has the features that we want, that we enjoy, but it's not all this other stuff that just gets in the way. So for example, even the chat, I would like to replace it. And I've talked to a couple people now that maybe we should just replace the chat with the newspaper. So we move the newspaper up here, and that will simplify the left side here. Because look, this left side, look at how ridiculous it is. Basically, this left side here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 icons, it's creating a whole bunch of white space on the other parts of that, like in the center and on the right side. That's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense, and we shouldn't be doing that. So I think we're, post in the comments below, but I feel we are going to have to move the daily news up here. That's it. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have my gifts. No, we'll have my gifts. Yeah, my gifts, find friends, and then we'll have the more button. And when you tap more, it'll show the my store, main store, and all the other buttons below right here. So that's what I mean by simplify. And then the other thing is like, look at the projects and doodles here. Projects and doodles tab, I think we should simplify that by bringing it all together. Even the collection, why don't we just take these three sub tabs and merge it into one called portfolio? And then when you tap on portfolio, you'll see three sub tabs. One is projects, one is doodles, and one is collection. I think maybe we can even merge jobs in there. I'm not sure. I don't know. Jobs don't feel the same as like being in a portfolio, but do you see how just merging those three tabs would make things so much simpler? And then look at clubs. There's how many tabs here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, this is why, and you saw this earlier in the video, someone's like, hey, how do I delete a club on my iPhone? Which, by the way, what you would do is you would tap on admin here if you could see it on your iPhone. You tap on manage, and then you tap on delete club here. So I feel like there's so much we can do to simplify it. And also even the style, like look at this, Project Master, Famous Projects, Famous Club. These are badges that should actually be doodled within Doodle Club. So in fact, if you're listening to this and you want to doodle some badges, look, I need some new badges for the Project Master, Famous Projects, and Famous Club stuff. So make some badges of those. If it's good, submit it, submit it to me, let me know, post on my wall. If it's good, I'm going to use it because we don't need we need art that comes straight from Doodle Club and Chroma Club, not from other things. I think that just doing that contributes to the style. And in fact, look at this little clock here. If you want to draw a clock icon, you can do that too, by the way, because I think we're going to replace that too. And if you see any other icons that look pre-made, like even this flag icon and some of these other things, if you see these things and you want to redo them and you have suggestions or you want to submit one, post in the comments below or even post on my wall in Doodle Club or even gift me the revised icons that you've made, because I feel like the heart and some of these other things like the comment icon that we see for these projects need to be replaced with stuff created within Doodle Club and Chroma Club. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, so the Sour Lime asks, how do you like your steak cooked? If you could try out any other job for a day, what would it be? And if you could learn one random skill, what would it be? Okay, how do I like my steak cooked? Well, if I eat steak, by the way, I'm not going to say if I eat steak or not. But let's just say hypothetically, I ordered a steak and I wanted it cooked, it would be medium rare. I would say medium rare, and actually probably medium. I'd say medium, yeah. And then if you could try any other job for a day, what would it be? I would say, what other job, dude? I don't know. I guess a YouTube personality person. I mean, seriously, what else would I do? I mean, I think that's the best, like another media job in media. So YouTube personality would be cool. Maybe YouTube prankster. Oh, you know what? Actually, I've been designing some other interesting apps for college students, and I would say the one job for a day is actually promoting that app. It's a really fun app, and I've went to campuses and actually promoted it, and people seem to like it. So if I could do something for a day, it would be to promote that. And maybe I'd make a YouTube video of it, promote it, run some pranks to promote it or something else. But that's really what I would do for a day. That's like my relaxation, honestly, is when I get stressed out from working on this stuff. I'm like, oh man, I'd love to work on these other interesting new types of apps for students, for college students and stuff like that. And if you could learn one random skill, what would it be? I would say, honestly, at this point, it would be being able to show up every moment of the day. It's like making the most of every moment, every piece of time moment, being able to really show up. Because showing up is really a huge issue. Like, you think about it, even with Doodle Club, you look at a lot of the details in Doodle Club. Why do they happen? It's because I didn't quite show up all the time, right? And that's why you have some of these glitches. So I would say showing up showing up to every moment, every opportunity, and every day. There's different parts, whether it's showing up to this video, and I'm trying to put my passion into this video, but even showing up to, showing up to like when I had to do some, like I was working on like 3D ink, right? 3D gel or whatever else, like so you could draw with 3D gel. And it took a little longer than I expected because I didn't quite show up all the time. So really it's like showing up, putting my best into every moment would be an awesome skill. Like if I could do that, that would be amazing. And so the flip side or the additional part of that is then being in a state of complete love at every moment. So when I show up, I'm showing up with love at every moment. I have the skill. So that's really the skill I would love, is that I don't let fear impede any moment of the day. So I'm able to show up to each moment in a state of like awesomeness, love, and passion. That would be the skill that I'd love. I know it's kind of a mix of multiple things, but hopefully that gets at what I want, which is that, and I think, try that. For some of the people who are listening, try that. What if you could even show up to 10 minutes to a situation, whether it's a social situation or even your drawing or whatever else, in a state of complete love? Like, where you're not having fear or worry or anything else impede you. Because, going back to when I promoted apps, like, I'm promoting various apps on college campuses, I've seen just an ounce of fear, because I've seen situations where the app had so much potential, but because of fear, maybe even of potentially going up to people or whatever else, and promoting it, because like doing the development, doing the programming is completely different than the social and promotion part. It literally takes two different personalities. But if you have that fear, even a little ounce of it, it can kill your luck. It can kill the potential. And even if you look at Doodle Club and Chroma Club, think about it. It's like this look at Chroma Club. It's like this half put together thing, because I'm like, oh, do I do this? Do I do that? Do it, whatever. It's not a complete state of like, okay, this is what I love. Like, does this put me in a state of love? And I've just seen that some of the best projects, not all of them, but some of the most successful projects that have inspired me are when I'm doing it in a state of complete passion and love. So, and by the way, that's a good habit to have, because you know what? When you do stuff out of fear, especially at a young age, it will follow you, and it'll be hard to get rid of. And then ultimately, you won't even have the potential to do what, the most successful people that you listen to or that you follow on YouTube or whatever else. You won't even have the potential to be like them or whatever else, because of that, not bringing your best self to every moment. So once again, I'm just trying to find the best words for this, but I guess what it is that the skill that I would love the most is to bring my best self to every moment, to every opportunity, my best self. And that means being in a complete state of love, being completely prepared, being willing to take risks, whatever else. All these little like sub items of that skill. So anyways, hopefully that answers that. Crimson Crow asks, how many years have you been creating games or helping create them? And do you think it's fun to create them? Which app game is your favorite that you've created, of course? I've been creating games for a long, long, long time. That's all I'm going to say. I started I don't know. I started when I was young. That's all I'm going to say. And I've played games for a really long time too. So, but you know what? If you notice that I really do not like traditional games, they really upset me. And I feel like I wanted to create a unique type of game. That's the whole point of Doodle Club and Chroma Club. You've seen some of the games that I've created that are really traditional games. People don't even necessarily like them. And I mean, I have to understand that. I have to understand those components. If you want to work in any industry, you have to be on top of everything. You have to understand everything, especially if you want to do it in a unique or creative, like at the highest level. So that's what I'm going to say is, oh, and which app game is your favorite? Okay. First of all, is it fun to create them? Look, it is fun to create them when they succeed. I think it's really difficult to create them. Look, right now games are a huge thing. Now they're a huge media trend, but at one point they weren't as popular. And So you really had to enjoy doing them anyways. But it can be fun to create them, especially when I'm working with someone else. That's when I really enjoy it. When I'm doing it alone, or you see how complex some of these games are, like Doodle Club and Chroma Club, it can get challenging. I enjoy playing them, but running them and thinking about some of these other issues can get challenging. But it's fun. It's fun if I actually bring my best self to it. So for example, doing these YouTube videos, or even this is something I wish I would have done in 2013. But once again, I didn't bring my best self at that time. There were some things that I was doing, but it's fun when I can bring my best self and the game works as expected. Because there are certain look, a lot of these games have like 50 different dimensions that you have to really execute on, that you have to really do well for them to run properly. And if you don't do that, at least for me, then I'm like worried, okay, is this whatever? So some of you may remember even 2 years ago or 3 years ago when the drawing area wasn't reliable. And so people would be like, oh, I spent 20 minutes on on a drawing and then it just crashed. And then, it creates worry. So as I get better, as I train myself, I do have more fun creating them. And which app game is your favorite? Look, my favorite game, the dream game that I'm going to do, because honestly, after I do this dream game, I'm not sure I'm even going to be doing games, which is Doodle Club and Chroma Club. Once I execute it, once I make it into the goal that I have, then we'll see what happens. But this is my absolute favorite game, Doodle Club and Chroma Club. Okay, that's the one that I love the most. That's the one that's inspired me to change myself the most, because I want to bring my best self to it. And that's once again another reason why you should be. I feel that the best thing you need to do is focus on what you're passionate about, because you'll want to constantly improve, constantly get better. Okay. So the next question is by Mal, and it's still still underscore Nick Jonas Lover. What new things what new things are your new goals for the new year? Do you like my profile picture? Okay, the new goals for the new year are really to get this virtual world done, making it work. Like, move on to the virtual world, get the whole Chroma Club game system working so that we can do some of these additional projects that I've discussed. And I want to do that as quickly as possible. So that's really my main goal. Okay, and do you like my profile picture? I'm Coming Home by LeBron James. I think it's all right. I think it would be cool if you developed your OC or put your original character as your profile picture. That would be nice. Okay, now Brian and Chara always together. Hey DCH, will there be new stuff coming to DC? I really want more markers. Yeah, the main new stuff that could be coming will be the virtual world. And some of you have seen the demo of some of the pinch zoom and stuff like that. But look, if you want more markers, you need to make a project on the specific marker ideas that you can add. I'm open to adding markers. I would love it so that in the virtual world there are quests to earn exotic markers. But I need those awesome suggestions from people who are listening, or even from the community, on marker ideas that are unique and cool. Like the glow marker is awesome. That's unique. The glitter marker is unique. Some of these other markers that we've seen done, I really don't think are great. And we need some really good unique markers that like amaze people. Okay, Electric Gaming asks, if you could stop one thing from happening on DC, what would it be? I would say bullying. Honestly, I feel like Doodle Club it's getting there. It's getting better. But the thing that really hurts a lot of people is just the bullying. And then also, I guess, just not getting the likes and the comments and everything else. But really, it's the bullying. It's the mean comments that turn people off big time. So that's the one thing that I would remove. And then Icy Apple 123 asks, is it fun to be a helper? Yeah, it's definitely fun to be a helper. I think it's really fun when I can connect with the community, and provided the actual programming part is taken care of. Because, once again, I said, the mindset needed to interact with everyone here in the community for these games is completely different than the programming mind needed to actually implement this stuff and make the programming work. And I'm getting better at meshing both, but yeah, I definitely enjoy being a helper. And there's things that I'm going to add to make sure that it's more fun. But yeah, so I think I think that's it for today. So we've talked a lot about a lot of issues and suggestions and changes coming potentially to Doodle Club and Chroma Club. So if you have any feedback or suggestions, post in the comments below. And once again, like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for other types of videos that I should do, let me know. I've been discussing this with some people, and we're thinking about doing stuff where I have my little virtual family and I talk to them on the show, and we'll see how it goes. But feel free to add any comments or suggestions. Take care. Bye.